This video is based on the price prediction and technical analysis of the FileCoin crypto. And at this point in time, as you can see, we find ourselves on the monthly chart. And on the monthly chart, we can see quite clearly that over the last couple of years, price has been moving rather sideways. If I can just actually zoom out, as I said, we can see that price has been moving rather sideways for the last couple of years, and in fact I would say since 2021. And this tells me that we're either going to see a breakout to the upside or to the bottom side. And at this point in time, we can't really say as to where exactly price will head to. So from here, I'm just going to head down to the let's see, I'm just going to head down to the weekly chart. And just to zoom out, remember, on the monthly chart, we said that price has been moving rather sideways for quite some years. And we're either going to see a breakout to the upside or the bottom side. But just looking at the monthly chart, or rather the weekly chart, we can see that we are in a very strong downward trend. And that indicates that we may potentially still see the market continue to move further down, as you guys can see. However, the good thing about this particular chart is that when price opened right for the month, if we can look at this area over here, right, it went down. It went down first, and this tells me that we may be possibly getting ready to see price actually do this and start to move up. Another reason why I say so is that if we were to zoom in and actually look at, if I can just mark it and look at this area over here, we would see that we actually have what seems to be an inverted head and shoulders pattern, where this area would be the left shoulder, this would be the head, and this would be the right hand shoulder, as you guys can see. And it would have a neckline more or less at that level over here, more or less, right? In fact, I'm just gonna mark that level just to add that actual neckline. Just bear with me. So more or less we could say that this is the neckline of that inverted head and shoulders pattern. And as much as price is in a, or rather the market is in a very strong downward trend, as I said, because price went down first when the month opened, and the fact that we have what seems to be an inverted head and shoulders pattern, we may be getting ready to see a reversal of sorts, right? At least to where the neckline is. However, at this point in time, just based on the weekly chart, I would love to see price at least push up to where we have this trend line over here, right? At least to test that marker, right? Anyway, let's head down to the daily chart and see what's happening down there. Here we are on the daily chart, and just to zoom in and to recap, remember that on the bigger time frames we spoke about how we have, if I can just draw it, let's see, we spoke about how we have that inverted head and shoulders pattern, right? To add to this, we mentioned that price started by going down first on the weekly chart, and we may potentially see a reversal of sorts, right? Again, here we are on the daily chart, and just to zoom out a bit, let's have a look. Let's look at the trend in terms of the daily chart. Again, we can see that the daily chart is in a downward trend, right? The same as the weekly chart. And again, this confirms that we are indeed in a very strong upward trend, right? To add to this, I would say that prior to looking for any potential buy opportunities, myself personally, I'm actually gonna wait for the market to close above this area over here. This area over here, which is the 3.30 area, remember, is the neckline of that inverted head and shoulders pattern that I spoke about. Remember guys, it's that neckline, right? And once price closes above this neckline, I'm going to wait for it to head back to the neckline to give it a test. And where we have that neckline, which would now be, or rather which would then be support, I would then look for those potential buy opportunities, right? Remember also, as I said, that just to zoom out a bit, right, we have that pattern, and ideally I want to see that pattern close where we have this neckline, close here at the very least, right? So what am I saying? So what I'm saying, in other words, is that in my very humble opinion, I would not buy this particular crypto, FileCoin, and that is because at this point in time the market is pretty much mixed. And as much as I'm saying that the market may head up, it is quite possible that it may continue to move further down. Because just to go back to the weekly chart, remember that the weekly chart, just bear with me, the weekly chart is in a very strong downward trend, as well as the daily chart. They both are in a very strong, or rather in very strong downward trends, and we may potentially actually see price from where it is move all the way to where we have this trend line, and then again move further down, right? Again move further down. So just to draw it again, yes, we have this inverted head and shoulders pattern. Price may move all the way to there, right? And at that point we may potentially see the market continue to move further down, because at the end of the day we are in a very strong downward trend. The weekly chart is here, or the weekly trend line, and or the channel rather, and the daily channel is again here as well. I hope that makes sense.